welcome to this week's Oracle card poll. So, since I sent out the email about the Winter Solstice cards, I figured, hey, why not pull from the Oracle deck for Winter Solstice? And again, I'm just so glad you're here today. But let's take a moment here to just take a gentle pause. So, if you're comfortable, you might want to place your hand on your heart, soften your breath. Let's let the exhale be a little longer than the inhale. So in for 4, and then out for 6. Notice your shoulders soften. Notice the support beneath you. And let's set a simple intention for the week. You can say that silently to yourself. Whatever that may be, may I meet this week with kindness, or whatever it is for you today. And then we can. So today, as I said, we'll be pulling from the Winter Solstice deck. Show those. And the deck this year is new. It's a little bit larger. And I made the bottom font larger and white, so it's a little bit easier to read. Also in lowercase, or capitalized, I guess you could say, text. So it's a little bit easier than last year's cards, which was all gold. It didn't go well against the blue. So we're going to pull a card first for the for the collective today. And then once I, go through that, then if you wanted a personal message, then you could type that in the chat. So let's do this first now. So just kind of shuffling through this. And if it helps right now, you can put your hand on your heart or wherever, and you can ask for what you need today, trusting what comes. Holding my hand on the deck, spread it out. This one right here is what I feel today. Interesting. This one is darkness. And I'll read the text on it in just a moment. So, darkness. So it says, I courageously explore the darkness within me, knowing it holds the keys to wisdom and authenticity. Each step into the shadow is a step toward my whole self. So first, what do you notice about that image for yourself today? It's like a cave with icicles hanging down. Maybe there's something you first sense, maybe with seeing the image, or maybe what I read. And remember, there's no right or wrong here. No right or wrong. It's whatever you intuited from that, what came to you there. So I'll keep holding that if you wanted to look at that just a little bit. And so then thinking about that, how that might guide your week. So, So I courageously explore the darkness within me. So it's not being afraid of the shadow part of ourselves, right? Whatever is there. And because, as the next sentence says, knowing it holds the keys to wisdom and authenticity. So sometimes when we're going through difficult times, we may feel that darkness, coming over us. And, but we have to remember that it's all for our spiritual growth. That even though we may be afraid to look at this, whatever that may be, that part that's coming up within us, that there is a spark of wisdom in it. So, what could that be? What could that be for you? So, even like when I started the surgery, and then the early days of the recovery, I had basically I was in bed, and then I did my walks and that sort of thing. But even it was like it was a process of letting go, right? Letting go of those parts, since I had a hysterectomy, those parts that, had to leave the body. And there's a lot of, because that's our womb, right? That's our seed of creativity. But is it? I still have my creativity, as some of you know. But, am I losing something because of that? So I'm just speaking for myself, so you can be thinking about that for yourself. And, being frank with myself, that doesn't mean I'm less than a woman, because I'll tell you, I was on some hysterectomy groups, which I don't recommend going onto groups like that, because then you just see what everybody else's pain is, and everybody is bringing themselves down all the time. And the thing was, I was trying to stay uplifted and positive, and I've had pretty much a great experience. Well, I mean, surgery is surgery, but I've had a good experience. So it's looking at that. Okay, well, what wisdom can I take from that? Well, it doesn't mean that I'm less than who I am, right? And authenticity, well, it's being real, that I am having these feelings. As some of you know, in my mindfulness classes, we really look at what is arising for us and allowing it to be present. That's what we did all last week. All my meditations last week was awareness of our emotions and the different ways that we can deal with it, whether it's through Vipassana or through loving kindness. And we did a lot of vagal nerve, vagal toning with the vagus nerve, and breathing, the 4-6, like we started with today, to really reset the nervous system. And those are things that I was working on, of course, before, my surgery, but after, I was really focused on keeping myself in that space of, this is all, whether it's pain that came up, which I didn't really have like a ton of pain, but okay, this is present right now, and it's okay in that sense. So let's see, what else did that say? Each step into the shadow is a step toward my whole self. That was the other part of it. And well, anytime we inquire within, which is one of my favorite phrases in that sense, I like to call it practical application. I've been calling it practical application for probably a good 30 years. But I always like that idea of, well, I can learn whatever it is that I'm studying, but I can have a lot of intellectual knowledge about it, but it's when I bring it into the heart, bringing it into my everyday life, where it really makes a difference. So when I'm looking at whatever aspect of darkness that may be there, well, the light is always present too, right? The light is always present. The light diminishes the darkness. So then when we learn from what, we are working with, whatever that may be for us, a loss, a change in our lives, that we can know that the light is always held for us, right? So maybe thinking about this for yourself now, and how might this guide your week, with this darkness? Where can you soften? Where can you take one small step to the light and do that? So if you want to put in the chat, maybe one word that this card brought up for you today, or if you want to just say that word quietly to yourself with your hand on your heart, you can do that too. I like that someone said that you're coming out of the darkness into a new light right now. So change. Someone said change is the word that came up for them. So if you have that word and you don't want to put it in the chat, that's okay too. So you can just close your eyes for a moment, inhale that word in. And I think what just came from me is just light, since I was talking about that, just light coming in. And I'm going to exhale that light out into the week. And you can exhale your word into the week as well. And we could take 3 easy breaths here. Quiet, somebody else said for them. So whatever that word was, you could put it, put a post-it note on your mirror, maybe on your desk. I got lots of stuff on my desk here, but anything to keep you reminded of that. Maybe it's lighting a candle. Challenges. Challenges was coming up for somebody else. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'm going to pause the video. So if anybody wants to share, to talk about, we'll do that. So okay. Thank you so much for being here, everyone, today. We had a wonderful chat with all the cards that everybody had picked, or I picked for them, I should say. And I hope maybe if you're watching here on the replay that you'll join us next week. And may this message that we did today support your week. And if this card spoke to you, the darkness one, consider one small action today to honor it. Okay, friends. So, with that, I thank you again for joining me today. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. Thank you again. Take care, everyone. Have a good rest of the day.